Cheating back feels like revenge. It feels like balance. But here's the harsh truth. It's not balance. It's surrender. It's handing her the perfect excuse, the perfect defense. See? You're no better than me. And just like that, your pain becomes her weapon. Don't make that mistake, because in a few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly why revenge cheating will never give you the victory you crave, and the real way to make sure she never wins twice. There's something almost no one tells men. Cheating back never hurts her the way you think. In fact, many women quietly expect it. And when you do it, they twist it into proof that loyalty doesn't exist at all. Suddenly, the guilt shifts off them and onto you. That's the hidden truth behind revenge cheating. It's not an equalizer, it's an escape clause. And if you don't know this, you'll play right into her hands. So hit like and subscribe right now if you're ready to hear the truths others are afraid to say. And in the comments, predict, what do you think hurts more in the end? Being cheated on or realizing you betrayed yourself? Stay here, because what I reveal next is the missing piece that flips your entire perspective. When betrayal hits you, it doesn't come softly. It cuts straight to the bone, igniting a rage you didn't know you were capable of. Your first instinct is simple. If she broke you, then you'll break her. If she burned down what you built, you'll torch whatever matters to her in return. That's the impulse of destruction. Raw, primal, and intoxicating in the moment. But here's the truth. That impulse isn't power. It isn't control. It's the animal part of you. The side that reacts instead of decides. When you catch her disloyalty, your mind floods with images of getting even. You picture her feeling the same pain you feel, yet in that very fantasy, notice what's happening. You're letting her dictate the terms of your response. You're playing on her board by her rules. And that's the trap. A man who lets rage guide his hand is not in command. He's being commanded. She already wrote the script by betraying you. Every move you make in reaction to that act means she's still pulling the strings. Do you see the danger? She betrays you once, and you betray yourself twice. First by hurting, and second by reacting blindly. The strongest men understand this. Impulses are cheap. Anyone can lash out, but restraint, clarity, and patience, that's where dominance is born. The question isn't, how fast can I hurt her back? It's, why would I ever give her the satisfaction of controlling me twice? There's a dangerous lie men tell themselves after being betrayed. If I cheat back, I'll be even. I'll take back control. That thought feels sharp, almost empowering. You imagine the look on her face when she discovers you've done to her what she did to you. For a split second, it feels like victory. But it isn't victory. It's a costume. Let's strip it down. When you mirror her betrayal, are you leading or are you following? She acted first. You're reacting. That isn't power. That's imitation. Picture this. You walk into her world convinced you've flipped the script, but she doesn't crumble the way you imagined. Instead, she smirks, because she sees it clearly. You only copied her weakness. You didn't strike her down. You stooped to her level. Real power doesn't come from imitation. It comes from standing apart. Every time you mimic her choices, you place yourself side by side with someone you already know operates beneath your standards. Think about that. You want to be above her, but your actions prove otherwise. And here's the harshest truth. She might even feel relieved. Your revenge hands her the perfect excuse. See? You're no better than me. The ground you thought you were reclaiming. You just gave it back to her. That's not dominance. It's submission dressed up as defiance. So ask yourself, do you want the illusion of power or the reality of it? Because the reality doesn't come from playing her game. It comes from refusing to touch the board at all. Revenge cheating always promises a clean cut of justice, but in reality, it only plants a seed of decay. She cheats, you cheat back. Then what? Do you really believe it ends there? Or does she now feel entitled to return the blow once more? And when she does, do you strike again? Before long, your relationship isn't a partnership, it's a battleground. That's the brutal nature of revenge cheating. It sets off a cycle that cannot sustain love. It's no longer about closeness or rebuilding trust. It becomes about one-upmanship. Who can inflict more pain? Who can gain the upper hand in the most destructive way possible? And once intimacy turns into competition, what you had is already gone. Think carefully. A relationship that spins into revenge isn't a relationship anymore. It's warfare disguised as romance. Each side digs deeper trenches, fires sharper shots, and yet both sides end up bleeding out in silence. The idea of getting even feels like balance, but it's not balance, it's escalation. And here's what most men fail to see. Revenge cheating doesn't punish her, it punishes both of you. The more you trade betrayals, the further you drift from any chance of repair. Even if you thought you wanted to save the relationship, revenge cheating ensures there's nothing left to save. When cheating meets cheating, trust isn't damaged, it's destroyed. And what's destroyed cannot be rebuilt. Revenge cheating feels explosive in the moment. The rush, the adrenaline, the sense that you finally hit back, it's intoxicating. But that high doesn't last. Once the anger drains out of your system, what's left behind is the hangover. And unlike alcohol, this one doesn't fade after a night of sleep. You'll feel it the morning after. You'll look at yourself differently. The act you thought would balance the scales suddenly feels hollow. Because here's the reality. You didn't cheat because you were drawn to someone else. You cheated because you were trying to bury your pain under another body, another moment of closeness. And when the dust settles, you realize you weren't hurting her. You were hurting yourself. That's the cruel part of revenge cheating. It tricks you into believing it's about power, but what it really delivers is shame. Shame because you went against your own values. Shame because you used another person as a tool, not as someone you truly desired. Shame because instead of solving the problem, you just created a new one. And the worst part? That regret lingers. It claws at you when you're alone, when the anger is gone and you're left with nothing but yourself. You'll ask, why did I lower myself? Why did I let her pull me into the mud? The answer will sting, because in that moment, you weren't leading your life. You were reacting to hers. You may win the moment, but you'll lose your reflection. And once you lose respect for yourself, you've already lost everything. Revenge cheating sells itself as justice. The logic sounds simple. She cheated, so I cheat back. Now we're even. But that's not justice. That's self-deception. Because the pain she caused you cannot be mirrored by what you do to her. Think about it. When she cheated, she did it because she wanted to. She followed her own desire, no matter how twisted or selfish it was. But when you revenge cheat, you're not following desire, you're following anger. That difference matters. One came from want, the other came from wound. And no matter how much you try to pretend, the impact isn't the same. Worse, your act of revenge doesn't leave her stunned and guilty the way you imagine. More often it gives her relief. Now she has the perfect card to play. You see, you're no different. We both did it. What you thought would be punishment turns into a shield she hides behind. She no longer has to own her betrayal because you've joined her in it. That's the false justice of revenge cheating. It doesn't convict her, it acquits her. It hands her the escape route she was waiting for. And in trying to punish her, you erase the very leverage you had, being the one who stayed loyal. Real justice doesn't come from matching someone's lowest act. It comes from refusing to sink. When you cheat back, you don't prove her wrong. You prove her right, that anyone can betray when pushed. So ask yourself, Do you want to be the evidence that clears her name, or the proof that you were always above her? Trust is fragile. Once cracked, it takes time, effort, and patience to even begin repairing. But when both of you decide to cheat, trust isn't just cracked, it's shattered beyond recognition. And once shattered, there's no glue strong enough to put it back together. Picture it. She cheats first, and you feel the ground beneath you give way. That's already devastating. But then you cheat back, thinking you've leveled the score. What you've really done is cut away the last thread holding the relationship together. It's no longer about one betrayal, it's about two. And two betrayals don't cancel each other out, they multiply. It's like a building already hit by an explosion, damaged, but maybe still standing. Then you set off another blast inside the same walls. Now the foundation collapses completely. What could have been rebuilt is reduced to dust. That's the reality of revenge cheating. It doesn't restore balance. It accelerates destruction. Even if you convince yourself you want to stay, what's left to stay for? She can't trust you, and you can't trust her. Suspicion poisons every word, every glance, every silence. And when suspicion moves in, love quietly moves out. Some relationships can survive a single act of cheating, painful as it is, but almost none survive revenge cheating. Because it's not just betrayal, it's mutual betrayal. And when two people no longer trust each other, they aren't partners anymore. They're enemies sharing the same house. Trust, once destroyed, doesn't grow back. And without trust, there is no relationship worth saving. It's easy to look at her and think, she's the enemy. She's the one who destroyed everything. And yes, her cheating cut deep, maybe deeper than anything you've felt before. But the truth is, she isn't your greatest enemy anymore. The real danger now lives inside you. That danger is your lack of control. The rage boiling in your chest, the urge to strike back, the temptation to answer her disloyalty with your own. That's what can destroy you more than she ever could. Because her betrayal happened once. But if you let it push you into revenge cheating, then you've betrayed yourself twice. Once by feeling her wound, and again by lowering your standards to match it. A strong man isn't the one who lashes out. He's the one who refuses to let his emotions dictate his choices. The moment you allow her actions to control your behavior, she's won a second time without even lifting a finger. She cheated on you once, but now you're the one cheating on yourself. Ask yourself, who do you want to be? The man who collapses under the weight of anger, or the man who proves that nothing and no one can make him abandon his values? Women come and go. Relationships end. But the respect you have for yourself is permanent, or at least it should be. She can take your love. She can even take your trust. But only you can take away your self-respect. And once that's gone, she doesn't need to destroy you. You'll do it for her. Revenge cheating feels like a weapon. You think if she cut you, then you'll cut her back. But here's the truth. It's not a weapon at all. It's a trap. Because the strongest weapon you could ever use against someone who betrayed you isn't sleeping with another woman out of spite. It's something far more devastating, indifference and dignity. Picture this instead. You don't argue, you don't plot, you don't try to match her disloyalty with your own. You simply stand up, collect what belongs to you, and walk out the door. No shouting, no spectacle, just silence and finality. Do you realize how powerful that is? Because she expects anger. She expects revenge. What she doesn't expect is composure. And that's what leaves the deepest mark. When you walk away with your head held high, you don't just punish her, you force her to live with the weight of her own actions. She has to sit in the ruins of the trust she broke, knowing you chose not to play her game. That silence speaks louder than anything else. Revenge cheating lowers you. Walking away elevates you. One drags you into the mud with her, the other keeps you above it. That's the difference between playing small and playing like a man who knows his worth. The better weapon is not matching her sin. It's refusing to let her define your next move. Because the ultimate act of strength is not proving you can hurt. It's proving you don't need to. If deep down you still want to salvage the relationship, revenge cheating is the worst path you could ever take. It doesn't rebuild, it demolishes. Because once you step into that territory, you're not fixing the crack in the glass, you're smashing it into pieces. The only way forward, if there is one, is through brutal honesty. That means sitting across from her, confronting the betrayal without flinching, and demanding truth. It means asking the hard questions. Why did this happen? What was missing? What does she want moving forward? These conversations aren't comfortable. They're raw, exposing, and often painful. But they're the only way to discover if there's something real left to rebuild. And sometimes rebuilding requires outside help. Therapy, counseling, mediation, tools that force both of you to face the wreckage with structure instead of chaos. It's not about pretending the cheating never happened. It's about deciding whether both of you are willing to do the work to restore what was broken. But understand this. Rebuilding is not guaranteed. You can pour in effort, and she can refuse. You can commit, and she can still fail. That's why choosing this path demands strength and clarity. If you choose to stay, it has to be because you see the possibility of a future worth fighting for, not because you're afraid of being alone. And if she isn't willing to put in equal effort, then the path of rebuilding ends before it begins. Better to face that truth early than to waste years in denial. Because staying without change isn't rebuilding, it's surrender. Every man who's been cheated on faces a moment of decision. Do I lower myself to her level, or do I rise above it? That moment defines more than the relationship. It defines you. And make no mistake, revenge cheating is never victory. It's surrender disguised as strength. True victory comes when you walk away with dignity intact, when you refuse to let her betrayal dictate the kind of man you are. Because leaving isn't weakness, it's the highest form of control. You're not clinging, you're not scrambling to make her feel what you feel. You're showing her, and more importantly yourself, that your worth doesn't depend on how much damage you can cause. Imagine it. She cheated, expecting rage, drama, chaos. Instead, she sees silence. She sees you rise, unbroken, refusing to participate in the game she set. That image will haunt her far longer than any revenge affair ever could. Because you didn't just leave. You left untouchable. And here's the real shift. Walking away isn't just about punishing her. It's about protecting you. It's about keeping your standards, your integrity, and your future clean from the poison of revenge. Because no man has ever become stronger by mirroring weakness. Strength comes from holding your line when it would be easier to break it. She can take your relationship. She can take the trust you once gave. But she cannot take your soul unless you hand it over. Walking away ensures she never gets that. That's the real victory. Not revenge, not destruction, but self-respect. Revenge cheating looks tempting when your heart is bleeding. It whispers that hurting her back will restore your pride, balance the scales, and make you whole again. But now you see the truth. It never does. Revenge cheating doesn't heal you. It empties you. It doesn't prove strength. It exposes weakness. And it doesn't make her suffer the way you want. It only drags you into the same pit where she already fell. What really defines you as a man isn't how quickly you can retaliate, but how firmly you can hold your ground when chaos tests you. Anyone can lash out in anger, but not every man can walk away in silence with his dignity untouched. That's the difference between reacting like a wounded boy and responding like a man who knows his worth. If you've been cheated on, you already lost something precious, your trust. Don't lose yourself on top of it. Don't hand her the victory of watching you betray your own values. She already failed the test. That doesn't mean you have to. Your next move will determine whether you rise above or collapse beside her. So remember this: 2 wrongs never make it right, and revenge cheating never makes it even. The path forward is simple, even if it isn't easy. If you see a chance to rebuild, face it with honesty and strength. If you see nothing left worth saving, then walk away with pride. Either way, your victory is in control, not in chaos. A woman can take your love. She can take the future you once imagined together. But she should never take your soul, your standards, or your self-respect. Guard those above everything else. Because in the end, that's what separates the broken from the unbreakable. And if you're the kind of man who refuses to be broken, then stay here. Subscribe, share this message, and add your voice in the comments. The world is full of lies that keep men weak. But here, you'll always hear the cold truth that makes men strong.